Hey, this is Joey Lasso for Joey Lasso's Jeep Plymouth Dodge in downtown Phoenixville. And for this month only, we got prices you won't believe. My cousin Lonzo accidentally ordered too many cars, dumb fuck. And we got to get rid of 2019 cars to make room for 2020 inventory. We got Jeep Cherokees for over $3,000 off. You won't find these prices at fucking Car Sense. And hey, no credit, no problem. We'll just charge you a shitload for the car. And if you miss one payment, we'll take it back. We got tow trucks on speed dial. We don't give a shit. So come on down to Joey Lasso's Jeep Plymouth Dodge in downtown Phoenixville, where every single customer that walks onto the lot walks away with a brand new car or a free beer koozie.
The following is a Just Green production brought to you by the Might Be News Network.
What's up, everybody? It's the week of September 16th, 2019. My name is Taylor Cooper. This is Might Be Sports. Kevin Reevy's back. What up, Kevin Reevy?
How's it going? It's been a long time.
It has been a long time. What's up, CJ?
What's going on?
So, Reevy, you weren't here last week for the mid-season premiere. We missed you. I'm really glad that you're here.
It's good to be back. Tried to make it, but the schedule was tight. But glad to be here. We got a lot to talk about.
Good. Well, you had to get that awesome advertiser.
Oh, yeah. That's a good one. I like it. I'm in need of a new car. I didn't know they made Plymouths anymore. That's good to know.
Right. So week 2 of the NFL season has come and gone. It's been absolutely insane. The Eagles 1-1, tough loss in Atlanta.
Yeah.
I just saw today that Deshaun Jackson's going to miss 2 weeks, 2 to 3 weeks. They're saying opted out of a surgery that would put him out for like a month to 6 weeks, from what I saw. Ben Roethlisberger's out for the year. Drew Brees is out for a month plus. Teddy Bridgewater looked like crap too. Cam Newton's out for a month plus. Sam Darnold's out for a month plus. It's an absurd NFL season so far. The Bills are 2-0. I'm unimpressed with the Browns so far.
Yeah, that's weird.
The Jets the Jets look like complete trash.
See, I threw a thing out on Twitter. I was saying, and nobody should be like really married. A lot of the times, especially on Twitter, people are just married to their opinions, and you challenge like the smallest thing, and everybody just goes on defense. So I've been saying for years, like, you can't have a running quarterback, can't have a mobile quarterback. It's too much of a risk for the guy to get hurt. You need your quarterback out there staying healthy. Now, I could like pat myself on the back and say, look at all these quarterbacks that are hurt now, and it's going to hurt their team. The quarterback goes down, you're screwed. But if you look at it, who went down? You got Ben Roethlisberger, not really a mobile quarterback.
Right.
Drew Brees. You're looking at these guys. Cam Newton doesn't really run anymore.
Right.
Not that much.
The first two
arguably
are
not as much as he should.
The first two are among the older quarterbacks.
That's my point. So now, I have two choices here. I can either change my opinion maybe a little bit and say, hey, maybe the mobile quarterback, maybe all quarterbacks get hurt, or I could maybe double down. So I'm thinking I'm just going to double down here a little bit and say this has got nothing to do with the mobile quarterback or pocket passer thing, and it's an age thing.
Yeah.
Tom Brady, I think, skewed our idea of how long quarterbacks can go. And I think there's like a fragility that comes into play. There's actually two guys. It's Eli and Tom Brady. So these guys, they don't seem to get hurt.
No.
Eli just seems like he could play forever. So he's...
now he could ride the bench forever.
Yeah, it's weird because, Peyton was kind of... Their careers actually were kind of the same for the most part. They kind of got shitty at the same time. But obviously Peyton had more of an injury factor going into that, where Eli was more unbreakable. But,
right.
I mean, if you look at it, Tom Brady is kind of on an island there because Eli it's either one or the other. I was saying, on Twitter, you either age out because you're too fragile or you suck. So Eli is, on like the suck side of that scale.
Right.
And I just don't see, besides Tom Brady, where are the examples of guys playing great later in life. I mean, Drew Brees has had some decent years, but you could see that teetering on disaster. They've been throwing in, I forget who their backup quarterback is, but they use him a lot. They used him a lot last year. And it was in like key situations. Yeah, their backup quarterback.
Oh, it's that guy who plays receiver too. I don't remember his name.
Yeah, mobile guy.
But now it's Teddy Bridgewater.
Right. So they used him a lot last year, and I wondered, it was in key spots where you would want your franchise quarterback, but I think they wanted to bring him in almost on like a timing deal, like kind of how you have like starting pitchers on a pitch count. I think they wanted to bring him in for a certain number of snaps every now and then during the game to kind of spell Breeze because he is getting older. And I don't know. I mean, we tend to think that these guys, because they're quote unquote protected now in the NFL, they can go forever. But that's just because we're only looking at, what Tom Brady is doing, staying healthy and being elite. We're seeing Eli Manning just being able to stay out there and not get hurt, play every single week. But I don't think that's the reality. I think it's the same as it pretty much always has been. All it takes is one play.
Yeah.
They protect the quarterback a little bit more, but I mean, I don't think it's that much more. There's still going to be plays where guys get hurt and a flag is thrown. The flag being thrown, the penalty being called doesn't stop the play from happening, doesn't stop the guy from getting hurt. So, those things are going to happen. I don't know if it kills my theory so much. I mean, you see what Lamar Jackson's doing now. He's dominating. Still able to run around, but you got to worry about that. And he's doing a lot of running still.
I was worried about Lamar Jackson, not just because of the running aspect, but just because of his size in general. Like, he's a small-looking dude, and certainly next to some of these linebackers and D linemen that are coming after him. And, I mean, you got to worry about that. I have been personally blown away by the seemingly overnight evolution of Lamar Jackson. His arm is incredible for his size. His accuracy has certainly improved since last season. Their team seems to be clicking on all cylinders right now down there in Baltimore, and they're in a very weak division now. Very weak, especially with Antonio Brown out of it, Ben Roethlisberger out of it. Cincinnati is garbage, right? And who's going to stop them in that division? Nobody. I mean, with the Browns, like I said, I'm unimpressed so far. I'm unimpressed. Baker Mayfield's just not the answer to me. I'm unimpressed. I mean, OBJ looked good Monday night. That one play, a couple plays, really nice catch there, and I think it was the first quarter. They got to learn how to play together, but Baker Mayfield's unimpressive to me.
Well, here's the two sides of the coin here, like the immediacy of the media and our reactions to it. We got, so you're on the side, you're bailing on Baker Mayfield, and everybody's jumping on the Lamar Jackson train. So we have much more of a sample size from last year to say that Baker Mayfield is the next great quarterback, where Lamar Jackson is kind of faker. He's not going to be able to compete long term because of his arm. So I mean, I don't want to exaggerate things over 2 games. I want to see more from Lamar Jackson and how teams defend against him when they play tougher competition, Baltimore. So, and then, the same thing with Baker Mayfield. I think they need to come together as a team. They could probably use a better head coach to do that, but they need to come together as a team and make it all work. They might be better next year. This might be a little bit of a, what's the word? They need to grow.
Yeah, I agree.
And they have these, there's a lot of evidence mounting, I think, that, these wide receivers or these guys, you got to be careful what you wish for if you want like a Jalen Ramsey. You don't want too much of a guy that's too much of a me guy. And I wonder if those kind of guys destroy teams. You saw, Antonio Brown kind of worked his way out of the Steelers and worked his way out of Oakland. And now Odell Beckham, like his line was something along the lines of, it's always something. The NFL is after him. It's always something. Well, ironically, yeah, it is. It's always something with you.
Right.
Why is it always something with you? The NFL's not after you. He wanted to be the first to wear a watch. Like, how come, the same deal with Johnson, not Johnson. God, my mind is lost today. AB.
Antonio Brown.
The same thing with him and the helmet. Nobody else in the NFL had a problem with the helmet.
Right.
Nobody else in the NFL needs to wear a watch.
He doesn't have a problem with the helmet now.
Well, yeah,
It's the same helmet.
Yeah, because it has a New England Patriot on the side of it.
Yeah, that's the only difference.
Yeah.
So it's amazing to me that like you got the number one team sport in the world. Like it's all about team, and these individual guys are starting to pop up. And
I mean, notice, I agree with you 100%, but notice that it's the ones that are making the guaranteed 30 some million, 80 some, whatever, crazy. It's the highest paid ones that are to me, certainly in the spotlight, acting that way, right? I mean,
Baker Mayfield also, by the way, could be in the category of one of those guys. All offseason, all he did was talk. I mean, all he's done since the league is talk.
yeah.
And then
That's all he did in college, too.
commercials in the offseason. It's like, all right,
Right.
back it up a little bit.
You've done nothing.
And you know what? His numbers were pretty gaudy the first year, but I mean, you look around the league, it's hard to statistically like rank quarterbacks now because all the numbers are great.
Right.
I mean, people are comparing Lamar Jackson because he's had 2 good games. They're actually comparing Lamar Jackson to like some of the greatest quarterbacks of all time at the same age.
He's got historic numbers.
It's a different age, though.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean,
yeah.
Before Donovan McNabb in 2004, no quarterback in the history of the NFL threw for over 30 touchdowns and less than 10 interceptions. Now, I don't know the number off the top of my head, but just last year, Matt Ryan, I think, threw 37 touchdowns and like 7 interceptions. Like, you would never have known that.
Right.
Matt Ryan, they won 7 games. I think 7 games, and he's got, prior to 2004, it had never been done. And then you just expect, a handful of quarterbacks to do it every year. So, like, even the measurables that we always use, like the completion percentage and all this stuff, the game's different now. So you can't really judge guys on stats the same way you used to.
Right.
So I'm not all that impressed with Mayfield's 27 touchdowns his rookie year. It's impressive, but you need to have a full body of work. And more than ever, the measure of a great quarterback is going to be, have you won or lost? Are you winning games?
Right.
And if Lamar Jackson's winning games, it doesn't matter how he does it. We could throw the stats out the window. That's the most important thing right now.
Let's rewind a second because I want to go back to Antonio Brown and just how crazy this offseason has been. And during the time that we were on break was when a lot of this stuff happened. And we don't need to like rehash the whole thing because I don't know about either of you guys, but I'm just exhausted with hearing about Antonio Brown.
It was a cool story, though. It was fun to follow.
Oh, my God.
Just a train
so
wreck.
wild.
Well, it was for a little while until the ending when he ends up on the Patriots, making them probably, arguably the most potent offense in the history of football. Just the way that it is right now. You've got Josh Gordon, you've got Antonio Brown, obviously Tom Brady, Sony Michel. They're not. Sony Michel's not even like a tier 1 running back, but in that offense, you could put whoever you want there. It's crazy to me, and the way that the social media stuff happened during the whole process, and videos of him finding out that he was released from the Raiders and celebrating and running around his yard and
screaming, "I'm free, I'm free."
I'm just kind of disgusted with the whole situation, to be honest, because he freaked out until he got out of Pittsburgh, gets to Oakland.
And by the way, that's the most immature move ever. Like, that's what kids do, or we're just like dumb, immature people that don't have any, they can't
the
see
reaction,
themselves.
You mean?
Yeah.
The reaction?
Like, let's say you get fired from a job.
That's
and
exactly
the
what
first
I
thing
thought.
you do is, let's
How
say
childish.
you go to the bar, you're talking with friends, and, oh man, I heard you got fired from your job. What the hell happened? You'd be like, dude, I should have quit there years ago. I'm glad. They did me a favor.
Yeah, I'm free
They actually
now.
did me a favor because, I wouldn't go back there if they begged me. So everybody does that, and it's so transparent. So dumb. And
Right.
he just kicked it up a notch because that's what AB does. But he doesn't realize we all see that. We all know what it is.
Right.
I hate those things. I hate I probably do it myself sometimes. I think one way I do it is in golf. I played golf yesterday and I can't help myself. I'll hit a bad shot and I'll be like, oh man, I know what I'm doing. I just, for some reason, I got in my head, I just got to focus on the next shot and I'll be good to go. And I'll hit like 3 good shots in a row. The next one I'll shank. It'll be awful. And I'll be like, what the hell? Like, I'll blame it on something. I'll be like, the noise is killing me. These cars,
Right.
I can't concentrate on this shot.
Right.
Do it all the time. You make excuses. And in your own head, in the moment, it sounds like they're buying it. Yeah, they know I'm a good player.
Right.
I got to remind them that I'm great at this. In their head, they're thinking, Jesus, another excuse.
Right.
It's so obvious, but we can't see it ourselves. And he's freaking running around the lawn. It's all queued up on video. I'm free. It's so dumb. And you know what? And people think they're criticizing him when they say, oh, you know what? It was all part of the plan. Bad teammate. He just wanted to get to the team he wanted to get to. It was all part of the plan. Him and his managers, his agent, they all concocted this whole deal to get him to the Patriots. You're giving him way too much credit. That was not part of the plan. Part of the plan was to play for the Raiders. He just is who he is.
Wait, he got traded to the Raiders, right?
Right.
So was that part of the plan?
Well, I mean,
Was that like a team that he agreed on?
yeah, there would be other ways to go about it because he's not going to get traded to a team and not. It's one of those deals where, like currently with Jalen Ramsey, you wouldn't want to trade for him right now without a long-term deal because then you give up, multiple first-round picks, and if you don't sign him long-term at the end of the season, he's going to say, "What? You're just going to let me go? Here's the number I want, and now you have to pay me this, or else you just wasted 2 draft picks." So I'm pretty sure they traded for AB, and he signed pretty much right off the bat because you have to in that situation. You can't give the player more leverage by going longer with it. So I don't know. That doesn't make any sense. And the odds that you could actually work out something like that would be very slim. And just have the hope that the Patriots are going to be there and go along with this plan all along and have enough cap space and all that. No, it's not. They're giving him way too much credit. It's dumb.
I don't think you're giving him enough credit.
No.
I think they're like that.
It's a
How
stupid
quick?
conspiracy theory.
How quick that contract came together?
So fast.
Why did... Yeah, there's apps for that. You can... There's... I mean, there's probably like a QuickBooks thing where they can, drum up... these NFL teams, they hire a lot of guys. They get paid a lot of money. Sure, they could draw up a contract pretty damn quick. These things should be able to happen within 10 minutes as far as I'm concerned. It's not that hard.
I don't know, man. Awfully
You think about
fishy to
trades,
me.
like at the trade deadline where, deals literally happen at the last minute where you got to draw up contracts and all that kind of stuff. Same deal. It's just a free agent.
If it wasn't the Patriots, I wouldn't think twice about it. But they're scumbags.
That's true too.
Scumbags.
Well, I have a hot take on this.
Oh.
On the whole thing. So my conspiracy, it's not a conspiracy theory, it's just a hot take. That maybe AB is not that good to begin with. Not as good. I mean, I was looking, I'm no football expert, genius, whatever, like Andrew DeCecco, who will be calling in later in the show.
Oh, I'm excited to talk to Andrew.
I'm not at that level, but I saw the tape of AB, and the routes didn't look that crisp. He didn't look that fast.
Oh, he's kind of,
He looked like he was
might be a little rusty.
a step or two off.
Might be a little rusty.
And you know what? He's 31 years old.
It's true.
And we were just talking about, hey, maybe the NFL is what it's always been as far as age goes. You don't have to go that far back to once you hit 30 for running backs and wide receivers, it's done. It's over.
Oh yeah, it's done.
Yeah.
There's a lot of examples, and I'm sure he's still a great wide receiver. I wonder if he's as great, if only because of his age. And then you add to that, he didn't have a regular training camp,
Right.
so he's behind the 8 ball there. who knows? I don't know if he's going to be. Maybe he clicks on all cylinders come late in the season, and that's exactly what you want.
Right.
But we're giving him a little too much credit for being the best wide receiver in the league when he hasn't done it in a while. And he's getting up there in age.
I don't know. I think he's forcing himself out of the league with all this.
Well, one more incident, and it's going to be rough.
Done. Yeah, he's going to be done.
Because it's not a question of getting another chance, getting a third or fourth chance. It's just you got to play like the likelihood of, he's going to get another shot. Let's say the Patriots let him go. He'll probably get another shot. But this is a coin you keep flipping and it keeps coming up heads over and over and over and over again. I mean, it's just, the probability of what's next. It's going to be heads. It's always the same damn thing over and over and over. The only difference is it's a two-sided coin. There is no tails with this guy. So we'll see. If he can do it with the Patriots, that means he's got to put everything on the line and be a person that would be directly opposite of everything he's shown in the past few years. And that would be weird. It's almost weirder to imagine him being the player he used to be, being the person he used to be. Something's going to go wrong. If they win and everything's great, fine. But something's going to go wrong and it's going to go off the rails.
I want to recap some of the scores from week 2. Starting with the Buccaneers beating the Panthers 20-14 on Thursday night. Like I mentioned earlier, Cam Newton's out for a little bit. I don't even know who their backup quarterback is. 49ers dismantled the Bengals 41-17. Chargers lost to the Lions 13-10. That's who the Eagles got this weekend in Philly.
Chargers, remember my pick to fall off, and for that exact reason. I don't think... I have to look up. I mean, Phillip Rivers was taken same year as Eli Manning. So there you go. And you got a guy that he's a robot to begin with. He's a rigid guy. His throwing motion, that sidearm delivery, I don't know. I don't love it later in life at the quarterback position. I think he seems to be the kind of guy that would not last, certainly wouldn't last as long as Tom Brady. But again, we it's just like mirage that, he did it last year. He's great. Well, everybody was a great quarterback last year. Like everybody. You can't look at the same old stats. Eventually it all comes crashing down. And I think that's the only reason why I didn't love the Chargers. I think Phillip Rivers is a ticking time bomb.
I've always thought Phillip Rivers was a little overrated personally.
Well, I mean, like I just said, if we make the new stat just winning, it's kind of funny, in Major League Baseball, the win is getting less credence as far as how we measure a starting pitcher's value. And at the same time, I think the starting quarterback in the NFL, wins and losses is probably number one. That's what you have to look at. The stats can be so damn misleading.
Right.
It's kind of funny, like being an Eagles fan last year, how many times did Carson Wentz have a quote-unquote good statistical game? But, analysts, fans alike, after the game, they would always say, it felt like he had a good game on paper, but it didn't feel like he had that great of a game in reality.
Right.
And I think that's the way it is now. Because the passing game is so fine-tuned and amazing. Every team's got a great quarterback, it seems. It's going to be difficult to judge these things. It's just going to come down to wins and losses. That's what Tom Brady does. And I bet statistically, Matt Ryan and all these guys had, and I know they did, much better year than Tom Brady last year.
Yeah.
Tom Brady threw 25 touchdowns, 12 interceptions. By today's standards, not that great.
Right.
But he won the Super Bowl. And he's there every year.
So sick of it.
It's solid.
I'm so sick of it. It almost makes it like...
I've never hated the Patriots, but the AB thing, adding Antonio Brown, that's the first straw. So we'll see. Maybe.
What straw is going to break the camel's back?
I do love it, though. As much as I say, I hate reality TV outside of Survivor, which is not reality TV. It's a sport. But we won't get into that. I kind of hate the reality TV vibe. I love the reality TMZ aspect of this Antonio Brown stuff. And though I don't really want to see the Patriots fall apart, I kind of love how that's like a well-oiled machine. I appreciate it. I would love to see like a virus enter this system and how like it could single-handedly just break it all apart. And how that would work.
That'd be awesome. In my opinion, that'd be awesome.
It's like, I guess it's like a doctor like studying viruses, like literal viruses, and how they work in like, lab mice, and your life is dedicated to medicine, to like the perfection of the human body, but you're fascinated with how like a virus just tears it all apart. So yeah, I would kind of love to see what AB does over there. We'll see.
The Packers are 2-0 after beating the Vikings.
Just surprising as hell. This season's so weird.
It is.
And we're so weird because the first game, like now it's not even saying 2 games is too small a sample size. We're taking it game by game now because week 1, everyone said the Packers suck.
Yeah.
They beat the Bears, but they did not look impressive. Rodgers looked pretty awful.
Yeah.
And I don't think anybody was counting on the Packers being there at the end. And on multiple major sports shows, I'm hearing people put the Packers right there with any other team in the NFC.
Yeah. Yep.
After one game.
Yeah.
But last week, you written them off.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
It is crazy.
So this week-by-week stuff, maybe the Eagles are where they need to be. You just hide in the tall grass. Just wait for your moment. When the season plays out, at the end, when they have 10, 11, 12 wins, and everybody else is talking about, and whoever's the hot team, they'll be there, and they'll knock everybody off and make their way to the Super Bowl, as a lot of people predicted in the offseason and have already abandoned. Because now it's all Cowboys and Packers, and I guess you got to jump off the Saints train, which makes sense.
Makes sense, yeah.
That's a thing, too.
That train's done this year.
Once you start knocking off these starting quarterbacks, you can knock that team off as well. The Steelers...
Yeah.
The Saints, the Panthers are dead in the water.
Yeah. Yep.
So it makes sense to elevate other teams in response to that. But man, the Packers, really? I need to see way, way, way more. The Cowboys I'm scared of. So we'll see with that.
Yeah,
Dak Prescott looks impressive. I mean, I spent a lot of time on this podcast just tearing Dak Prescott apart with stats.
He looks good right now.
His stats actually went the other way.
Yeah.
And it was weird. Sometimes he would win games with terrible stats. He's just an anomaly. Doesn't make any sense. He could go on a stretch where he doesn't throw over 200 yards a game, and they'll still find a way to win those games, or at least go 500, and I can't explain it.
Let me quickly run through the rest of these scores before we run out of time in the first half here. The Colts beat the Titans 19-17. Patriots decimated the Dolphins, as we all knew they would. I think the spread was like 18 points or something like that. Yeah. They beat them 43-0 in Miami. The Bills beat the Giants, who look absolutely terrible, 28-14. As I mentioned earlier, Eli is now benched in favor of this younger guy who looks just like Eli, just like I think like 10, 15 years younger. The Seahawks beat the Steelers 28-26. Again, Pittsburgh losing Ben Roethlisberger for the season. Cowboys beat the Redskins by 10. Ravens beat the Cardinals 23-17. Texans with a 1 point stunner over the Jacksonville Jaguars. Jalen Ramsey demanding a trade. That's all over the news right now. 28-10 was the final score. Chiefs over the Raiders. The Bears beat the Broncos 16-14. I'm not a Mitch Trubisky guy. Just doesn't look like an NFL quarterback to me. Rams beat the Saints 27-9. That's how important Drew Brees is that score right there. Drew Brees got hurt, and that entire team went to shit. Like, in an instant. That entire team went to shit. Obviously, the Rams are a good team, but the Saints just crumbled. Falcons beat the Eagles 24-20. That was a really rough and physical game Sunday night. I think that was the best. Obviously, I'm a homer here, but I think that was the best game of the weekend as far as like matchup, grittiness, physicality. Eagles have some pretty significant injuries, or had some pretty significant injuries during the game. Deshaun Jackson was out. Dallas Goedert, Alshon Jeffrey. They haven't said what's up with him yet, but Deshaun's out for, I think they said, 2 to 3 weeks.
Yeah, there's a possibility for the next game. I mean, I heard, Matt Collins might be hurt. Nelson Aguilar. So you got potentially your top 4 wide receivers, maybe 5, out or hobbled to some extent. And there's just not a lot left there. It's unfortunate that you don't have Dallas Goedert. Probably. I don't know. Did they say how long Goddard was going to be out?
No,
I'm not sure.
I haven't heard any official.
So he re-aggravated, I think, an ankle injury, something along those lines, that he had that kind of made him limited during the preseason schedule. But you could get away with that if you had Zach Ertz and Dallas Goedert, I think, because you kind of, you could lean on your 2 tight ends. But now they have a system where it was pretty much designed for just those 2 tight ends. They didn't really carry a third. So now, not only that, but you got to kind of scratch your whole system that was based around those 2 guys. And you don't have help on the outside. But at least now they have time to prepare for that. And in the moment, they weren't prepared for that. And it came down to the end. And it was...
Yeah. It was a great game.
It was a close game, but a couple things go their way. And it's not crazy to think, when they brought the all-out blitz, when the Falcons had to score, if they get Matt Ryan there, game's probably over.
Yeah.
But even still, they get the ball right back. Nelson Aguilar drops a touchdown pass. If he catches that, takes it to the house, the game's probably over.
Right.
So there's 2 instances right there in the fourth quarter. Just being that close, I think it says a lot about how good this Eagles team is. And once they're on all cylinders and clicking, they just got to get these guys playing together. But it's a marathon. It's a tropey thing to say, but it really is a marathon.
I mean, I'm bummed out about the injuries, and then I look around the NFL, and it's just week 2. People are getting decimated all over the place. So you're right. I mean, it's a marathon. It's the next guy up mentality. It's going to be interesting. I mean, because the Eagles in particular have a pretty rough first half of their schedule.
Just to add one more trope, because we keep saying, all these tropes, next man up and all that stuff. I realize today what I hate, week in and week out. Why can't we just say every week? This weekend, in my head today, I was driving home from work and I said, you know what? I'm retiring week in, week out. I'm not saying that anymore. If you hear me say week in, week out, I want you to press that horn thing. Yeah. Penalty box for me. No more week in, week out.
Okay, terrific.
The last score was the Monday night game. That was 23-3. Browns over the horrible Jets. Horrible Jets. Trevor Siemian out for the year. That was their backup quarterback. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to have Andrew DeCecco on the show. We also have Guess the Spreads and our new thing called Clickbait, which isn't new at all.
So you've been listening to the Might Be News Network, but you still can't get enough each week? Become our patron on Patreon. Head to patreon.com/MBN Network to become a patron and get exclusive content now. For as little as $5 per month, you'll get access to extended episodes of all your favorite shows, as well as perks including MBN merch and monthly giveaways. Just want to support the network? Become a patron for as much or as little as you'd like. Get bonus content each week and head to patreon.com/MBN Network. Your contributions help us make this network bigger and better than ever before. Patreon.com/MBN Network.
All right, we're back. We're waiting on Andrew DeCecco to give us a call. I'm really excited to talk to him. He's got a new gig, and I want to hear all about it. Until then, we're going to do our new / old segment here. We're calling it clickbait now because rapid fire really didn't fit the script. You know what I mean? It was never really very rapid. We're just reading headlines and reacting to them, kind of like clickbait. That's the clickbait sounder, Reevy.
Damn.
What do you think? What do you think? What do you think?
I'm excited.
Clickbait.
I'm ready to click some bait.
What do you
All
got?
right. There's two stories that go together, so I'll read both titles.
Okay.
Warren Moon, Eli Manning is a Hall of Famer. He's got 2 rings. And the other headline, Kurt Warner rips Giants for benching Manning. He's not the problem.
Yeah, he kind of is.
I mean, he's part of the problem.
You can tell that he's just not with it. He's done. He's been done for a while. They were absurdly too loyal to this guy. He never should have started the year as their quarterback.
They're very loyal to him. I agree. They don't have any other really talented players besides Saquon Barkley that I know of. I mean, all their receivers are either hurt or in Cleveland, and it just I can't name a single other player on their team.
Well, who's the guy that's currently being suspended? Golden Tate.
Correct.
They have Golden Tate. So
Yep.
he's going to be back after week 4.
Yeah, that's right.
So, and it's not that it's going to matter all that much.
No, it's not.
They're still a terrible team, but they have the talent there. They have Saquon Barkley. They got a decent tight end. But they had all these pieces last year, and Eli couldn't get it done. So how is he not the problem? I understand if it's also going to fall on the offensive line, but still.
Next.
Brett Favre, family urged me to play again after Luck's retirement.
That's just absurd. It's just absurd, Brett.
Well, it depends on what the context was. Was he on like a late night show and they're saying, well, my kids were jabbing me. They were saying, hey, why don't you go out there? Yeah.
Oh, gee.
And I was like, yeah, I just might. I just might.
Yeah, but my family's been begging me to do it.
That'd be awesome.
Oh, God, Brett. Stop. Next.
Odell Beckham rocks watch again at Browns-Jets game.
$2 million watch.
Yeah.
It's this childish, again, these guys have no self-awareness. They don't understand like how this comes off, how it looks.
I don't think he wore it the whole game, though, right? Or because I was watching at the end, and I don't recall seeing it on. I was looking for it. I don't know if he was out there during warm-ups with it. I don't think he had it on at the end.
It was a different watch, so it was like a silver.
Yeah,
so it kind of matched in a little more.
Yeah.
The argument's always wrong. These guys are always saying, well, it doesn't affect the way I play. Why are you worried about these things? I'm going to be me out there on the field. And you know what? It's a distraction whether you want it to be or not. You're creating this thing that people are talking about, that people are annoyed about.
Right.
And all you got to do is just be like every other player out there. And people, they get defensive over these things. And they say, hey, I'm going to be me. We got Andrew on the line?
We got Andrew on the line.
All right.
Hold on.
We're going live with this.
Going live with Andrew. Andrew, can you hear me?
Yes, sir. How you doing?
What's up, man?
I'm doing well.
Yo, we're on right now. I got you all hooked up here.
Perfect.
Welcome back to Might Be Sports, Andrew DeCecco. How in the hell are you?
I'm doing well, man. How you guys doing?
Doing really good, man. I have been seeing that you've been very, very busy. You've got a new gig. You are covering the New York Jets. Why don't you tell me a little bit about this? Where are you working? What are you doing? And how's it going?
So just before the season, I started. Actually, I guess it was towards the end of August. I got hooked up with SI Jets Maven. Jets Maven, they're affiliated with Sports Illustrated, and it's a good opportunity to cover a different team.
Sure.
Kind of get outside my comfort zone a little bit, get familiar with a new fan base, and try and get a pulse for them. It really is a good test at my journalistic skills, and it's opened up a lot of opportunities for me.
That's fantastic. I assume that you're gonna have to wear long sleeve shirts to cover up your Philly special tattoo and over there at MetLife Stadium.
Correct. Yes, I do.
That's the first thing I wanted to know is how. I mean, obviously you're not the first sports writer to cover a team that is not your favorite team, but what's that been like so far for you?
To cover a team that I'm not, that I have no attachment to.
Yeah.
It's very different. I'm able to be much more objective than say I would, with the Eagles, even though I was with that, you learn to be like that. But, covering a team that you absolutely you just started really watching now. I picked it's odd because I picked up on, the position battles in the summer, like in 2 days. I knew the whole roster in a day, and I figured out, who, I had a 53-man roster projection, and it was pretty accurate. It was one of those things where I had to quickly snap out of it, and I had to focus all my attention into this while still being, familiarizing myself with the Eagles in case, I needed, somebody wants to bring me on for something or whatever. I try to make myself a well-rounded NFL guy. So, I try to, it's very weird, the first week I was up at MetLife and I'm in the Giants stadium and the Eagles are playing right now at 1:00 and I can't watch it.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
I hadn't missed an Eagles game since I was 11. It was weird.
Wow.
But, at the same time, I was fulfilling, a long goal of mine.
So what's it like being in, for the press conference and everything? Did he get any questions in personally, or were you just kind of along for the ride and taking that whole process in?
I guess the first couple of weeks I was taking it in, because I was forewarned by, a veteran reporter that has been a mentor of mine, keep an eye out on Adam Gase. You can get a little testy. It's sometimes, and obviously the first 2 weeks haven't gone according to plan. And you get the sense, I will say this, hats off to these, New York Jets reporters. These guys are asking the hard-hitting questions, and they will press them until they get the answer that they're looking for. I'm not accustomed to that. It's for example, there was a corner yesterday they paid $72.5 million for, Tremaine Johnson, last year. And he didn't play. They didn't play him because he had a bad week one. And he was at his locker, and he looked like he was nearly in tears. And the guy goes, reporter's like, "Did you know you weren't going to be playing?" And he was like, "No, when I got to the stadium, I thought I was going to be playing." They're like, "How does that feel to know that your team and your coaching staff has no confidence in you?"
That's
and he
brutal.
just had his head down, I was just the guy, he paused for a good 10 seconds, picks his head up, and he's like, "Man," and he was just like, I'm here to help the team win, and you just got this, these guys will ask the hard-hitting questions, and you see that, with Adam Gase, they asked Adam Gase about the kicker, they're on their fourth kicker in a month, and they just brought in their fourth guy, and they asked him about the guy before that, or they're asking about the free agent kicker that they let go in free agency that made the Pro Bowl last year. And he's like, "I don't remember that." And they're like, "You don't remember that? Are you sure?"
Right.
Stuff like that.
Right.
How could you not remember that? That was only in March. And, they press him on it.
Right. That's got to be intense. That's got to be intense, especially because, this is the pinnacle of what you're trying to do, man. You're an NFL reporter, Andrew DeCecco. I'm so happy for you, man. It's incredible. And it's been awesome, following your journey on Facebook and on Instagram and stuff. It's just incredible, dude.
Yeah, 1 week I'm covering, I'm writing, blogging for the Eagles, really, and then, a few weeks later I'm standing, 2 feet in front of LeVeon Bell at his first game back in 603 days, scoring a touchdown at MetLife. It was kind of cool. And then, you quickly have to snap out of it, and you're like, all right, I got to ask a question here. I ran into Sal Palantonio last night. Sal Pal has been a good mentor of mine. He's always, answered my emails, and he's had me send him my work, and he reads it from time to time, and we kind of stay in touch. So he saw me there. He gave me a look, and, I walked down, from the press area that I was sitting at, and, he shook my hand, and we kind of had a moment where we were chatting up, and he's like, "Anything you need, just let me know." He's a great guy.
Well, now the question is, are you going to have a moment? Are you going to make a name for yourself? You got this ticking time bomb in Adam Gase. I think Andrew DeCecco needs to go in there and ask him the hard questions, and maybe Adam Gase goes Ryan Leaf on your ass. Maybe he comes at you, and then boom,
he might.
You're a superstar overnight.
I think an implosion is kind of on the way. You start at 0-2. Your starting quarterback has mono. Your second quarterback just got he's done for the year with ligament damage in his ankle.
Which, by the way, when Gase, I'm sorry to interrupt, but when Gase said, that he had mono, I could detect like a little bit of like kind of, flippant commenting there a little bit. He was kind of like, our guy's got mono. Like he's got to pick somebody on the team to send him his homework while he's gone. It's like, you can kind of tell like he's a little like annoyed. Maybe not at him per se, but the whole concept of my football player, my starting quarterback is mono. What is this?
Yeah.
So it's got to be rough.
So let me try and paint a picture for you guys here. So you have Adam Gase who's getting pressed every day by these guys. You have the quarterback who's out with mono. You have the second guy, Trevor Siemian, who's done for the year now with ligament damage in his ankle. You got your third string quarterback who's going up to Foxborough for his first NFL start, who was just on the practice squad yesterday morning. You lost Quincy Enunwa with a neck injury. He was your top receiver. Your starting tight end is 4 games suspended with violating the league's PED policy. Your offensive line's in shambles. Let's see here. Jamal Adams, probably their best player. Just a great guy, leads by example. Greg Williams decided he wanted to bench him for 5 plays to make an example out of him in the waning moments of the 23-3 loss because he misread a play. And you have your $72.5 million corner that just isn't playing for no reason. And you got C.J. Mosley, who's hurt with the groin. He's their best linebacker. They paid him a lot of money to come there. And then you got Quentin Williams, the first-round pick, who's, day-to-day or week-to-week with an ankle injury. So, I mean, it's a recipe for disaster, especially with an 0-2 start.
And then LeVeon Bell, 3.4 yards per carry so far with 0 rushing touchdowns. And he's your bell cow back, the guy they were banking on when everyone was saying it's dangerous to pay a running back that much money.
He is I will say he is the consummate leader in that locker room. Like he's trying to lead by example. He's trying to put the offense on his back. He looks in the backfield. You got the third string quarterback now. You got an offensive line that they're getting whooped up front by the Cleveland Browns, and you got receivers that are averaging 2 yards per separation, which is worse than the NFL. It's below average in the NFL. The NFL average is 2.3 or 2.8 rather. Guys aren't getting open. He's literally having to do everything. But credit to him for staying in there. Where a lot of players might be like, oh, you know what? I'm kind of feeling a little banged up today. I'm not going back in. There's none of that. Like he's putting it all out there. And he's answering the questions after the game. You can tell he's disgusted by it, but he's trying to keep everybody positive. I mean, that's 2 games in. We'll see what it's like later. But from right now, like he seems like like a true leader there.
He was the only bright spot on that field for them last night. Watching that game, he was the only bright spot on that field for them that I could see.
It was tough. Like you could hear Robbie Anderson. He was just like demoralized. He used the word depressing yesterday. He was just like I don't know, man. We're doing everything that we can, and it's just not working. I've never really, he's like it's really tough. He just kept, he looked like he was beside himself. And it's tough because my first experience in the NFL locker room is a complete. It's a season that's already in disarray,
right? And
so you're kind of seeing like you're seeing the opposite side of of a winning season and how guys handle it or how it really wears on people.
That's crazy. I mean, it's very interesting though. We were talking earlier about how a lot of like the storylines in the NFL, it's more like it's playing out like a reality show, like the stuff with AB. How he's conducted himself the past few months, and it's very entertaining. I mean, just outside of the wins and losses of these games, it's kind of entertaining how things are either working out or completely falling apart. But what I want your opinion on is, me personally, I have not seen a better scenario for Colin Kaepernick to come back than the New York Jets. And people are actually talking right now about the Pittsburgh Steelers might be a good spot. That could work. That might make sense, but I think.
Hold on a second now. You're kind of you're going against what you said earlier. You made a case for him not coming back because it's been so long since he's played.
Right. Well, I got to be objective.
It's only been longer since the last time you wrote that Facebook post, a month ago.
Oh, right. No, I don't. I think he's going to be terrible when he comes back. But I got to keep it real and say, it makes sense if you're the Jets. Like, what do you have to lose? Like, if I'm running the Jets, I would probably bring him back. who is their quarterback right now? And you're telling me that
Luke Falk, but I mean,
there's no way he
knows
gives
the
you
offense like he knows the offense like the back of his hand.
right.
Colin Kaepernick's not coming in there, in 2 days and learning that offense and coming out there and giving them a better chance against the New England Patriots.
But also,
Luke Falk,
if that's the measure, then you can never bring a guy off the street because nobody at any position is going to know.
Well, I mean, in this case, they're coming off a short week and they, they got it's an elaborate scheme. It's Adam Gase has he's like supposed to be an offensive minded guru. It's very elaborate, and there's a lot that's involved with it, So, I mean, Kaepernick's not coming in there on a short week, learning all that, and then making an impact. Meanwhile, being, an extra, like an added, stress on, an already turbulent season, it just adds to the sideshow. I mean, now it would just seem like an inopportune time to do that, just to kind of pile on with everything else that's gone wrong.
That might make sense. And maybe, a lot of people are talking about the Steelers. Maybe that's a better opportunity for him.
Better locker room. I mean, I don't want to say locker room. I want to say it's like a better infrastructure. Like, you got Mike Tomlin there. There's stability there. You got Mike Tomlin. There's a lot of veterans there. The Jets are a younger team. They're in disarray. Guys are kind of handling the losing, differently. You got Adam Gase, who, like you said, is a ticking time bomb. And, it might not be the best situation to bring him into, if that makes sense, like 2.5 years out of the league, and then you're coming back to, just to this turmoil. It might not be, the best scenario for him.
Yeah, that makes sense. I'm just thinking, I'm not a big Colin Kaepernick guy, but I've always said, his last year or two in the league, he was statistically the worst thrower of a football in the NFL, but he was also by far and away the best scrambling quarterback in the NFL, and it wasn't even close.
Yeah.
So I wonder if you could bring in a guy like that, it could be like a Lamar Jackson 2018 effect where, who cares if he can throw the football or not? If you can inject that kind of athleticism at the quarterback position, you can win games to get you along. And maybe that's what the Steelers could do or the Jets could do.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I see where you're coming from there, and I do think that, with all the unfortunate quarterback injuries over the weekend, I think, one of those opportunities he should be able to get one of those opportunities. I just don't think that the Jets would be the best one out of, all the different scenarios. You got Cam Newton that's out or that missed practice today. You got Drew Brees, you got Roethlisberger. Yeah, I mean, there's just teams left and right that are having QB injuries, and I think that there's other franchises with more stability and more veteran leadership, and that I think that he would be a better fit in.
Andrew DeCecco, thank you so much for being on the show with us tonight, man.
Oh man, always a pleasure.
How do people find you on Twitter? What's your Twitter handle?
A DeCecco NFL. That's ADICECCO NFL.
Excellent, dude. Keep up the great work. I'm so proud of you. I'm so happy for you.
That means a lot. I appreciate that.
I can't wait to talk to you again, and we'll get you back on the show again real soon.
Thanks a lot, guys. Take care.
Thanks, Andrew. You too, man.
All right.
Go Birds.
Go Birds.
Andrew DeCecco. That's excellent. I'm so happy for Andrew DeCecco. We have about 10 minutes left.
Think about how amazing a story that would be if him and Gase came to blows.
Oh, dude.
And then, as the fighting's going on, shirts are being torn, and somebody gets a close-up shot of Andrew's Philly special tattoo. And imagine the amazing story that would be. Oh, the reporter that went after Gase is a Philly guy.
He's an Eagles fan.
That would be incredible. It'd be amazing, and I'm rooting for it.
Should we guess the spreads real quick in 10 minutes? Can we do that in 10 minutes?
Yeah, we can do that in 10 minutes.
Yeah, I think we can do that in 10 minutes.
So the Jets are going to Foxborough.
Yeah.
I was going to say Foxborough, which I guess would still be okay.
As I said earlier, this is the first week since 1987 that there's two 20-plus point underdogs. So there's that mixed into all this.
I used to have a rule a few years ago. If the line was double digits, I went with the underdog every time. Because I said no NFL team should be double digits over another NFL team.
Can't say that this year.
But there's a lot of teams that shouldn't be NFL teams this year.
Yeah.
Yeesh.
Yeah.
The Dolphins. Like, we're talking a lot of crap on the Jets. The Dolphins are barely hanging on.
Yeah, they're bad. They're bad.
There are guys that they don't even want to be there.
Right.
At the end of you might end up just like putting in practice squad guys because at least they want some time in the NFL. It's going to get really ugly. They're trading guys left and right. Minka Fitzpatrick is gone.
Yeah.
It's weird.
It's weird.
Ready?
Ready. Let's do it.
Titans at Jags.
I'm going to go Titans +3.
Talk about a game nobody cares about.
Yeah.
That Titans +3, you're saying?
Or Titans -3.
I'm going to go pick them.
It's Titans -1.5.
I was closer. No, we're actually even.
Falcons at Colts.
Falcons at Colts. That's going to be the Falcons are overrated.
Yeah.
This is going to be. Wait, see, I don't pretend to be like an expert on this stuff. Vegas knows what they're doing. Falcons -4.
I'm going to go Falcons -4.5.
Colts -2.5.
What?
See, that's why Vegas is smart. I don't know. Like, really? So Vegas is not convinced by the Falcons
Clearly.
on Sunday night.
Clearly.
And they shouldn't be.
No,
and
they
that's
shouldn't
why Vegas knows what they're doing.
But the Colts, though, they're banged up. Go ahead.
Ravens at Chiefs.
God, that's the game of the weekend, man. Ravens at Chiefs. I'm going Chiefs +7.
This is going to tell people so much.
So much. Oh yeah. About both teams. Yeah.
This, I think, I'm not a gambling man, but I think you go heavy on the Chiefs just because Vegas or not, people are overrating the Ravens.
It's the loudest stadium in the NFL.
Lamar Jackson.
It's the loudest one.
I'm going to say Chiefs -7, but they win by 14.
Chiefs -7.
Wow. Ding, 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 ding,
Got
ding.
Bengals at Bills.
Your turn?
My turn. Let's see. Bengals at Bills. Bengals, like, they look pretty impressive on offense, I guess, a little bit.
Yeah. Okay. Especially with AJ Green out.
Yeah.
He's not coming
Who's
back.
that guy?
until, like,
Is
the
it
end.
John Ross? Is that the guy they have at wide receiver? It's doing really well out of nowhere, just killing it. I don't know. I'll say Bengals +6. Nah, it's dumb. Pick them.
Bengals. Wait a minute. Who the fuck are the Bengals playing?
Bengals aren't that bad.
They're playing at Bills. They're playing Buffalo.
At the Bills, but it's still the Bills.
Bills win by 4.
I'm taking a pick.
I'm doing Bills 4.
Bengals are +6.
Really? Wait, what did I say first?
You had it
Bills-
first.
I had it first?
Bills are
Yes.
That's
nice.
bullshit.
Bills are nice.
Well, I think you go Bengals there.
I don't know. I think
For sure.
I would go Bills there.
This is going to make me lose money gambling. Now it's so easy.
Next.
There's ads everywhere.
Broncos at Packers.
Broncos at Packers. Man, I'm going Packers by 4.
No idea. This could go so many ways.
Broncos are junk.
Packers, I think they're being overrated, and because of that, -6.5.
Packers -8.
Damn.
Lions at Eagles.
Eagles -38. And you know what? They cover that. They cover that all day. Do I know what I'm talking about? No, seriously, my cousin does this for a living. I swear. No, he deals over there at Harris Chester. He talks to guys that do this for a living. Like not even just him. And he told me, dude, take the Eagles up to like -45, and they got it locked.
Okay, terrific.
Oh god.
No, I'm gonna say. Really, it's gonna be so depressing if they lose this game.
Yeah, it is.
Eagles minus. Yeah, no, I don't 7. I don't know though. Who's out?
Yeah, I was gonna say Eagles -6. Yeah.
Eagles -7.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, terrific.
I know my
Dolphins
team.
at Cowboys.
Dolphins at Cowboys. This has to be one of the 20-point. So I'm going Cowboys minus 23.
Can they handle this, though? Like when they're on top, they're feeling themselves. By the way, what is this schedule all about? I got to look at the Cowboys' schedule. It's got to be pretty similar, obviously, to what the Eagles got going on, being in the same division.
Yeah,
but like
we play that whole division too.
3 cake opponents right off the bat, like to start the year. That's brutal. Giants, Redskins, now Dolphins. I know the Eagles play the Dolphins later on, but right off the bat, that's an easy, cushy 3-0. I'll go, I guess, minus 20.
Cowboys minus 21.5.
And I'm taking the Dolphins in that.
Yeah.
I mean, I think the Dolphins are terrible, but I actually wonder, like, man, are the Cowboys, can they bring it home when all the expectations are that they're this great team and you have to win?
Right.
Because there's no other option. The line's over 20 points. You obviously, you have to win.
You have to.
It feels like there's like a lot of pressure in that moment when there's no pressure at all.
Yeah.
Jets at Patriots.
That's
That's
I see this totally different
That's the other
because
one.
the Patriots, like
Yeah.
they don't lose this kind of scenario.
Yeah.
And I kind of wondered last week. I was like, well, and everybody was talking in the media like, well, when they go to Miami, and I'm thinking, it's still Miami. It's come on. So I think it's the same deal. Are they gonna win by that much? By like it's gonna be 40 something. I wonder if the Jets pull some little Giants shit, and it's just like the annexation of Puerto Rico plays from like the first minute on, and they find some way to keep it close. But line's gonna be 24 points.
Yeah, I'll go 25.
Negative 22.5.
God.
Raiders at Vikings.
I'm going Vikings by 4.
All right. Vikings by 4. I like it. I'll go Vikings minus 4.5.
Vikings minus 8.5.
That much?
That's a lot.
So I think you're underrating the Raiders there a little bit.
Yeah.
Not you personally, CJ. I know you're just the messenger in this scenario.
Sugar House is underrating them.
Let's make things clear. Yeah, I actually kind of like the Raiders there.
Yeah.
Let's go back and I'll try to keep in mind like what my predictions here that I didn't plan on making. We'll see how I did next week.
Giants at Bucks.
Is that me?
Yeah.
Okay. Giants at Bucks. Not impressed with either team. They got the Jones guy at quarterback. What's his name? David Jones, something like that.
Yeah, I think so. Something like that.
Random white guy name.
That's actually what he has on his jersey.
Giants plus 7. And I like the Giants, if that's what it is.
Yeah, I think the Bucks win by 6.
Bucks minus 6.5.
We split that one.
Split that one.
Texans at Chargers.
Going Texans by 3.
Really?
Yeah.
The country's still in love with those Chargers. They're lame. Chargers minus 4.
Chargers minus 3.5.
Nice.
Saints.
I like the Texans.
Yeah.
Saints at Seahawks.
Saints, Seahawks.
Oh man, Seahawks.
It's going to be interesting as hell.
God, is it?
Man, you see, I get too underdog happy. I believe in the Saints. They're going to pull themselves up and survive this. But they're going to have to overcome an 8-point swing. 8 plus 8 Saints.
I think that
Maybe not enough.
I think Seattle wins this by 10.
Seahawks minus 4.
That's it?
God.
Wow.
Steelers at 49ers.
49ers by 6.
I would love to know the difference of Big Ben playing and not. Has to be a 10-point swing. By You said 6. I'll go 5.5.
49ers -6.5.
Dang.
That's crazy.
Rams at Browns.
That's going to be a good game, too.
Just me?
Yeah.
All right, Rams at Browns. Rams. All right, I know I'm nailing this one. Rams -6.5.
I'll go Rams by 6.
Rams -3.
Ooh.
Damn.
Ooh.
And the last one,
We've had some
Bears
shitty ones
at
here.
Redskins.
Who?
Bears at Redskins.
Bears by 5.
Bears by 6 and take the under.
Bears -4.
God.
Do they have the over-under on that game? Because that's going to be a low-scoring game.
Yeah, it is.
The Redskins have a decent defense. Bears have a decent defense.
Yeah.
Watch Dancing with the Stars that night or something. You don't want to watch this game.
No need. No need. Let's do go to the week real quick.
Might Be Sports presents the greatest of all time.
Of the week. My go to the week this week, plain and simple. Our guest this week, Andrew DeCecco. He is covering an NFL team that he doesn't follow necessarily. He has to now, but this week he was at his first Monday Night Football game covering this team. I'm really proud of him, really happy for him. It's unbelievable, all the great things that he has going on for him. And I'm just overwhelmed with how pleased I am with Andrew DeCecco and everything that he's got going on. So for that, Andrew DeCecco, clear cut, my go to the week. Reevy, what do you got?
All right, well, I'm going to go with a guy I've used before, at least once. Local guy, Mike Trout. I'd like to include a little bit of baseball in this talk. 27 years old. He's been in the league 9 years. People are already saying maybe the greatest of all time. Not just of the week, but of all time.
Wow.
And he's done for the year. Got an injury, decided, his team sucks. Sit her down. And his numbers are fantastic. Even though he's not going to play the rest of the year, he's leading in on-base percentage, slugging, obviously OPS, currently leading in home runs and walks. But Alex Bregman of the Astros is hot on his trail or tail, however that's said, and also having a phenomenal season. OPS standing at 999 right now. He's got 36 home runs, 104 RBIs. Great player, and the Astros are a winning team. So it's going to be interesting to see who wins the MVP. People like to hate on the guys that win it every year. Barry Bonds actually should have gotten more, and I'm not a Barry Bonds guy, but clearly he should have gotten the MVP award his last 10 years in the league. So we'll see how that goes. I don't really put a lot of emphasis on how the team does too much with the MVP. I think it's an individual award. Give it to the best guy. And I think that's still Mike Trout at the end of the year, even though he won't be playing these final few weeks.
Mike Trout, go to the week. Excellent job this week, guys. Go to patreon.com/MBN Network for more. We're going to do some fantasy football talk here in the Patreon part of the show. MBNnetwork.com. It's never been easier for you to find your new favorite podcast. Kevin Reevy, thank you so much, man. Great job.
Hey, great job by all you guys. You know what? I love you like family.
Great job.
That's
Great
a
job,
lie.
CJ.
That's a lie. I don't love you guys that much, but I love you guys like guys I do podcasts with.
That's acceptable.
Counts.